15-Minute Mondays, your kickstart to week high-energy 15-minute episode on the Success Blueprint. I'm your host, Daniel Greg Johnson. Let's get right into it. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Success Blueprint. It is 15-Minute Monday time. I'm glad you are back. Today is a big one. It's a powerful one. Everyone can resonate with it. It should speak to everyone that had a relationship. And this is called Love Without Respect is Just a Well-Decorated Cage. There is a moment in an unhealthy relationship that is easy to miss because it does not arrive as a slammed door or a screamed accusation. It arrives quietly. It is the moment respect leaves the room. Not love necessarily, not even attraction, respect. The moment you are spoken to like you are an inconvenience. The moment your feelings are treated as performance to be managed rather than the truth to be honored. The moment your partner can look at you, really look at you and feel nothing that resembles regard. And when that turns into foul language and similar occurrences, then the foundation of the relationship has left long before you even started thinking about doing the same. And that brings you back to the title. Love without respect is just a well-decorated cage. You will feel it before you can explain it. A tightening in your chest when they walk in the room, a flinch before they speak, a private exhausting habit of shrinking yourself to avoid friction. Most people do not leave in that moment. They stay. They rationalize. They tell themselves it will pass, that they are overreacting, that every relationship has hard seasons. And sometimes this is true, but sometimes it is not a season. It is a pattern. And the difference between a season and a pattern is the difference between a marriage that heals and a marriage that slowly erodes the person living inside it. And the same applies to relationships. What's the problem here? The problem is not conflict. Conflict is normal. Disagreement is normal. Two people cannot share a life without friction. The problem begins the moment contempt enters where negotiation used to live. When you are no longer being disagreed with, you are being dismissed. When your voice is no longer being answered, it's being managed. When your presence stops being wanted and starts being tolerated. Many people do not say, I'm afraid to leave. They say, it is not that bad. They say, every couple goes through this. They say, I do not want to break up the family. They say, maybe I'm asking for too much. Sometimes those statements come from wisdom and patience. But often underneath the patience is fear wearing the costume of loyalty. Fear of starting over, fear of being alone, fear of proving the last relationship's failure was not a fluke, but a pattern in you. Fear of failing again. That's a big one here. Fear of failing again. Notice the shift in language. Respect complains about behavior. Contempt complains about the person. One says, that hurt me. The other says, you are the problem. One is solvable with effort, apology, and repair. The other quietly recruits you into believing you deserve less than you once expected. Learning to hear that shift before it hardens into a habit is the first act of self-protection most people skip. That fear is real. It deserves compassion, not shame. But fear of failing again is not a reason to keep living inside something that is already failing you daily. It is simply a reason you have not yet acted on the truth you already know. And what's the cost and consequence here? What currency are we bleeding? The cost of staying somewhere respect has left is not only your own happiness. It is not only the years, though the years matter. The deeper cost is what your children are quietly absorbing while you convince yourself you are protecting them by staying. And the same applies if you're just in a relationship because this is what your kids are going to observe once they are here. Children do not learn what love is from what you tell them. They learn it from what they watch you tolerate. They are building silently and permanently a private blueprint of what a relationship is supposed to feel like. If they watch one parent be spoken to with contempt and stay anyway, they do not learn resilience. They learn that love and disrespect can coexist. And that staying is what devotion looks like, even when devotion is quietly destroying the person offering it. So before you even go down that rabbit hole, think about it. Would this be what your kids would want? Would this be the relationship that you want your kids to be in? This is the part most people avoid saying out loud. You are not only choosing what kind of relationship you will accept for yourself, you are choosing by demonstration what kind of relationship your children will one day accept for themselves. Your daughter is watching how a man is allowed to speak to her mother, and your son is watching how a woman is allowed to speak to his father. They will not remember your explanations. They will remember your example and what you mirror to them. As per usual, let me give you a 5-step framework that you can use to implement, that you can counter-stir that. Number 1, name the moment respect left. The first move is honesty without decoration. Ask yourself plainly, when did I stop being spoken to like an equal? Not when did we start arguing. Arguing is not the enemy. Contempt is. Name the specific behavior, the tone, the dismissal, the moment your concerns became an annoyance rather than information. You cannot fix what you refuse to name, and you cannot leave what you have not yet admitted is already gone. And if it is on a regular basis, write a journal. Keep it recorded. You need to create the evidence so that you can see the patterns. Number 2, separate the fear from the facts. Write down what you're already afraid of. Being alone, financial strain, what people will think, failing twice or even multiple times. Then write down what is actually happening in your home right now. Put both lists beside each other. Fear speaks in hypotheticals. Facts speak in what is already true today. You are not being asked to predict the future. You are being asked to stop letting a hypothetical outweigh a daily reality. Number 3, define the home you are responsible for. You did not only bring children into a house, you brought them or will bring them into an emotional climate. Ask yourself honestly, is this a home my children want to be in or would want to be in, or a home they are simply used to or will be used to in the future? A child adjusting to circumstance is not the same as a child thriving in them. Your responsibility is not to give your children an intact family. It is to give them a safe one. Number 4, model the relationship you would approve of. That is a big one right here, tribe. Imagine your child, your future children 20 years from now, standing in front of you with a partner who treats them exactly the way your partner treats you. Would you approve? Would you tell them to stay? For the children, for the routine, for the fear of starting over? If the honest answer is no, then you already have your answer yourself. You cannot demand a standard for your child or your future children that you refuse to hold for yourself. And why does this matter? What is the deeper meaning here? At the deepest level, tribe, staying in a disrespectful relationship out of fear is not really about the relationship. It is about identity protection. Leaving means admitting the story did not go the way you planned. It means facing the discomfort of being seen as someone who failed again. But staying does not actually protect you from that discomfort. It only postpones it while quietly transferring the cost to your future children or the children you already have, who are absorbing the lesson that love requires shrinking. You cannot build self-respect from a life that requires you to abandon it daily. Self-respect is not a feeling you conjure. It is a pattern you demonstrate repeatedly, especially in the moments no one is applauding for it. Let me give you some real-world examples, some things that I spoke about to clients with, and recent experiences. A woman stays in a marriage for 11 years after respect quietly left the room, telling herself she's protecting her children from a broken home. Her daughter grows up, enters her first serious relationship, and accepts being spoken to the exact same way, because to her it simply looks like what marriage is. The mother did not fail by staying too long in pain. She failed by mistaking familiarity for stability. And after recognizing that, the changes were made. Because that is what you do. You transfer that to your future. And if that means your future children, they're going to replicate the same thing. A man endures years of contempt because he cannot bear the idea of being a man who gave up. He finally leaves terrified, certain he has failed his children. 2 years later, his son tells him something unexpected. I finally understand what I should have never accepted. The failure he feared became the exact lesson his son needed. Let me give you some advanced strategies. One advanced move is to stop measuring the relationship by its history and start measuring it by its present pattern. History creates loyalty, but loyalty to a pattern that is currently harming you is not virtue. It is inertia dressed as commitment. Listen to this carefully. Another powerful move is to separate the decision to leave from the timeline of leaving. You do not need every detail solved before you allow yourself to admit the truth. Admitting is the first act of respect you owe yourself, and it can happen long before the logistics are ready. And finally, stop confusing children's comfort with children's well-being. Comfort is familiar. Well-being is safe. If maintaining comfort requires your children to witness disrespect as normal, you are not protecting them, you are training them. And the same applies if you are going into a relationship where you are planning to have kids. It's the same thing. This is what you owe your future children. One more distinction is worth naming here, tribe. Leaving is not a single dramatic exit. It is a series of smaller, honest choices that eventually make the exit unnecessary to hide from. You stop excusing the tone. You stop translating unkindness into "she had a hard day" or "he did not mean it." You stop performing peace for an audience of no one. Each small refusal to minimize is already the beginning of respect returning to your own life, whether or not the relationship itself survives it. And it's not to say that you cannot fix these things, but patterns that repeat over and over again, they are not healthy and they shouldn't be entertained. So let me give you your weekly challenge. This week, sit with one honest question. If my child grew up and brought home a partner who treated them exactly the way I'm being treated most of the time, would I welcome that partner at my table? Write down the answer without softening it. Then write down one action, however small, that moves you closer to the truth you just admitted. And remember, even if there's long stretches of peace, if every single time the blowout happens, you go to places that are dark, that are disrespectful, that have no concern for the other party, then you are fighting a lost battle. These things need to change. They need to change gradually, but they cannot consistently go back to ground zero. Because I promise you, what you are going to do, you're not only destroying your own future and happiness, but you're mirroring that to your children or to your future children. And let's not forget to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Doc Marty Mushrooms. In a world where so many of us are constantly pushing for greater focus, better energy, and stronger performance, what we put into our bodies matters. Doc Marty's functional mushroom products are designed to support your daily routine naturally, whether you are leading a team, building a business, or simply trying to show up at your best. I've tried these products, they are amazing, so head over to Doc Marty and use the discount code DAN20, DAN20, to receive a 20% discount on your first purchase. Give your mind and body the support they deserve and discover what better daily performance can feel like with Doc Marty mushrooms. Thanks, Doc Marty, for sponsoring this episode. And with that, I will leave you in closing with this. Respect leaving the room is not always loud. Sometimes it is a quiet, cumulative withdrawal that you adjust to so slowly you forget it was ever different. But your children and your future children are not just adjusting to it slowly. They are absorbing it in real time. Building their own future expectations from what you show them is survivable. Fear of failing again is not a good enough reason to keep failing your children in slow motion. The relationship you model is the relationship you are quietly assigning them. So build a home they would choose, not merely tolerate. Demonstrate a love you would approve of them living inside, in your place, at your table, in your stead. If you would not hand them the relationship you are living in, it may be time to stop living in it yourself. And that was a short one, powerful one, very meaningful. And I hope that if you know someone that needs to hear this, that you share it. Take the episode link, copy it, paste it to 3 people you know, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, TikTok, wherever you communicate. Send it to those people that you know are behaving that way, because maybe this is exactly what they need to hear to build the strength and the courage to change it or to let it be. And I hope that you have a fantastic week and that I hopefully see you on Thursday on the Executive 5. Until next week, Monday, take care, have a fantastic week, be strong. It was Daniel Craig Johnson, your host on the Success Blueprint. With my promise, I'll be back. Take care, tribe.